Yes, hello guys, and welcome to the Manchester United versus Leicester City preview. As you can see, we've got a full house today, so let me give a proper introduction, and I'm going to try and get through this without laughing, but I'll give it a go. So first up, we've got the Irish whiskey drinking, Coldplay singing pimp, Adam Gray. How you doing today, Adam? You okay, mate?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I've done plenty of singing there just before we came on.
Good man.
How are you?
Man. I'm good, thank you. You know, that's the first time someone's. I always ask that. How are you? How are you? How are you? First time someone's asked me how I am, so I appreciate that. We also had the Pride of India, Daniel Raj, on the show tonight. Absolute pleasure. How are you today? You look a bit happier today.
Yeah, I'm doing good. So,
and we've also got.
Week, yeah.
No, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, has been a busy week, but I love this business when it comes to football.
Exactly. And then we've got, hopefully, boom, there we go. Perfect timing, Shreyas. Just introducing the Pride of India. And here's another Pride of India. Shreyas, how are you today, son?
I'm doing well. Sorry for being a little late here.
Oh, it is what it is. Don't worry about it. And then finally, we've got another legend in the cut. We have the cool, calm and collected Survey. What are we saying, Survey? Are you looking forward to the weekend?
No, but yeah.
Okay. It was positive vibes all the way through then, and then we got to that, it's like no. I was like, okay, no worries. I'll bring the vibe back up with the brain teaser for you lot. So I want to start it off as always with a question for you. And the question I want to ask, and I'm watching you all, see if you're going on Google, because I know what some of you are like. The question I wanted to ask is, who has scored more goals in the Premier League in total, Jamie Vardy or Cristiano Ronaldo? And closest to, in terms of how many goals they've scored, gets the full points. So I'll give you a few seconds to squander on that. Initially, who do you think's made more appearances, let's say, in the Prem? Just off the top of your head now. Look at how hard these are all thinking.
Yeah. No, I think Vardy has more goals, he does.
Yeah.
I think Vardy's got more goals.
He has to, because I know Ronaldo was like on 138 overall United goals, and Vardy has been popping over 10 goals a season. So I think he's over 100.
I think Vardy has more. Yeah, Vardy has more goals because Ronaldo wasn't always a goal scorer. He always played on the wing. It was only in his last 2 seasons, I think, that he really came up. And then, it was just one season he had like 20 goals, his last season. So
are you sure, guys? Are you all going to go with Vardy?
I'm going to go Vardy.
Are you going to go with Vardy?
Vardy.
Right, so that's
I go with Vardy overall. Are we guessing the number, are we?
Yeah, so I'm going to ask you for the number in a minute, but Shreyas, what do you think? Do you think Vardy scored more goals or Ronaldo in the Prem?
I think Vardy has more.
Okay. So how many goals do you think they've scored? Survey, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, just numbers, forget.
I want to see who can get closest. That's the reason why I'm asking.
Sorry.
So you can swear, it's all right. Fuck. Shit happened.
I can't guess. Go to someone else.
Okay. Anyone else want to throw numbers out there? Come on, someone's got to throw a number at it. You
150.
don't want to say something like 500 and they're like, oh shit, you win.
I'll go with 150.
Okay, Dan's relatively close. You're in the right ballpark there. Shreyas, do you want to guess at numbers before I reveal all?
147.
Very close as well. So,
I think I
never guessed.
Okay, go on, Adam. My bad.
130.
Okay. Right, so Jamie Vardy has 263 appearances, 128 goals and 40 assists.
Oh.
So Vardy's got. Cristiano Ronaldo has 220 appearances, 96 goals and 37 assists. That's in the Prem alone, obviously. I know you said with United he had 130 or something, you had him 130 odd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Vardy scored more goals than him. So he scored 32 more goals in 43 more appearances. So yeah, put some respect on Vardy's name, man. Absolute beast. And even considering, the seasons Ronaldo had with us at 30 plus goals in the Prem and then 40 odd in total, won it in all competitions or something. What a season that was. remember Gary Neville actually saying that was like that season he's never seen anything better than that in his life, like when it comes to footballers. So respect on both players' names, but thought it'd be a nice little brain teaser just to start off with. Now looking towards the game, lads, we're playing Leicester at Old Trafford. As we know, in a reversed fixture last year, we got absolutely battered 4-2, and that was ultimately the start of the downfall of Ollie's reign. A lot has changed since then, and coming into this game in terms of players available for selection, I believe Cavani's out again. We'll get onto that a little bit later on. Varane's back, but we do have international players who only played a few days ago, so there may be a case of fatigue there, so it's one of them. But Shreyas, I'll start off with you. What do you think, just speaking about Leicester specifically, what do you think has been the downfall for them this season?
I think obviously they are one of those sides that have struggled with injuries, but I think relatively some of their players who you would say are key to their playing style under Rodgers, they have been out. Like you can say Wilfred Ndidi, which you know when you look at that Leicester team sheet, that's one of the first names that you'll have to look at, because he's one of those players that I think every United fan wants that kind of player to come to United, because we know what his capability is, and he's one of the most consistent CDMs, I would say, outside the top six. And him being out has been one of the major factors that they haven't really been up to their levels that we have seen Leicester perform since the last 2 seasons, really, because they had been consistent in that top 4 positions as well. They used to drop off to 5th, but they used to be a contention where you could say that if you're going to Leicester, then we do expect a really, really tight game. And this season, they have struggled to put pressure on teams, because whenever you see a Brendan Rodgers side playing, you expect like a high intensity or a high pressure game, because he likes to put in those tackles. He likes to win the ball whenever they're off the ball. And this season they have struggled with that. They don't really look like that high pressing team, which we used to see Leicester as. And except that, I think even out of possession, they haven't really been that great on the ball, because last season you used to see that midfield of Ndidi, Tielemans, and Maddison, and 3 of them used to work really, really well together, and they used to give headaches to Liverpool and City as well. And they were performing really, really well. And this season, Maddison has had a big drop off, I would say. Tielemans has still been pulling off some really, really great games. But if I have to look Ndidi has been struggling with injuries, and except that Maddison has been there, but he hasn't been performing to the quality that we have seen him. Under Ollie, there was a time that we were linked to him very, very strongly, and he was one of those players who we expected to come in before Bruno definitely came in, and he has dropped off massively this season. And during the start of the season, I think any person who watches the Premier League would have expected big things from a team like Leicester, because they were coming off a great momentum after winning that FA Cup against Chelsea, beating the UCL winners. So you would expect a team like that to actually come into the Premier League and at least stay in the contention for top 4. But this season they haven't been at the races. Of course, they had a big game against us, and where we lost 4-2. But even in that game, I would say, I think it just came down to poor management, really, because it just came down to how Rodgers just went down in the last 10 to 15 minutes and how he just completely shifted the balance of the game. But except that, when you see his performances, even against sides like Crystal Palace or Brighton, which teams you would say are good, but they are going to stick at that 9th or 10th position because of the quality that the other teams have. They have struggled against those teams as well. Even against the teams against the lower side, they haven't been able to gain those 3 points pretty comfortably. So Leicester, I think they are a shadow of a team that they were last season, and there is talent there. I think even if you see at their recruiting side, the players that they recruited this year, like Taka, I think there have been some really interesting signings, but it's just that.
And Surveyor, if you actually look at Leicester's squad, should they be competing with us, Arsenal and Spurs, for top 4 with the quality they have?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone at the start of the season would have expected them to be somewhere up there with us, or at least competing. Because of the way they ended the season before and the additions they made, they bought that guy from France, Boubakary
Soumare, yeah.
Yeah, at some point he was linked to us, or I think it was just a rumor.
Yeah.
But he's supposed to be like this powerhouse midfielder. And I just thought they've replaced Kante. Then they got that Pasandaka from Salzburg, who, you know, he's actually really good as well. And I was like, well, when you have that, you have Kelechi Iheanacho, you have Vardy. I thought they'd strengthened. It's going to be, you know, and so I had Vardy in my fantasy football squad team. And then, yeah, for just weeks, like I wasn't getting any points. I'm like, what's going on with Leicester? Like, I really don't know. I think they've had their fair share of injuries. They've also, and I think with the injuries, it kind of made them inconsistent. So Youri Tillmans as well, Dan, you mentioned him before. He is actually more injury prone than Ndidi. He's always injured. He always he's in for a couple of games and then he's out again. Tillmans was injured, Maddison was injured, Pereira wasn't firing as well as he, you know, as well as we expected him to fire, which is the right back, because he had a lot of goals last season and assists as well. Then they brought in, I think, Castan, the Belgian defender.
Yeah.
They had quite, I think with all the influx of new players, it kind of messed up the balance. That's just my own thinking, because all of a sudden there's all these new guys, and things, you know, it just wasn't going the way it was before. I haven't really paid attention to them too much.
Yeah.
But I would say the injuries and the inconsistencies in the players, the new players, I think that has actually what has kind of slowed them down a little bit, thankfully, because I mean we've got Arsenal and Tottenham and Wolves to deal with. I can't imagine dealing with like Leicester and Everton and the rest of them. So yeah, good riddance. You know, they can be way behind us. But yeah, I think that would be my analysis on what would have happened.
That's fair. And their centre back Wesley Fofana as well, who I rate highly. I think he's a very good player. He had a massive injury, didn't he? Like out for the rest of the season. I was going to mention that as well. Yeah. He was really immense. He was really crucial to their performances last season. Yeah. Absolute Rolls Royce of centre back. I do like him. I rate him. I think that's another that highlights recruitment again. I can't remember how much they got him for. I think it was about 20 odd million or something. And he's class. Moving on to one of our centre backs, Adam. Our captain will be a big talking point for this game. I imagine Sky Sports have already got all the little stats and stuff comparing from when he was at Leicester to United, all this kind of stuff. Can you sum up Harry Maguire's time since he signed for us for £80 million?
Oh, captain, my captain. His time here has been nothing short but a train wreck, really. He's had good games here and there, but never on a consistent basis. I know he had that 2-month spell, was it, when we got to the Europa League final?
Towards the end of the season,
yeah, towards the end of the season. Shame the other 80% of the season, you know, didn't matter, according to him. So the captain's meant to lead by example, and when he's being booed by fans and told he shouldn't start, where does that leave the rest of the dressing room? They're supposed to look at him and get confidence. And when your captain posts his stats on Instagram after a loss, you know we're screwed. And just to sum it up, it's been a disaster and he should have his contract terminated. The Glazers should get their friend Donald Trump to tell him you're fired.
From The Apprentice, I remember it.
Yeah.
Adam, you mentioned Maguire there, and I've not spoke to the other lads about the situation. So if it's all right with you, I just want to very quickly gauge your opinions on it. Obviously, he got booed by all the England fans. Survey, I'll go to you first, just a sort of quick answer if you can. What were your thoughts on that? Did you agree with it? Are you against it? Like, what do you think?
I definitely don't agree with the booing. I'm sure you guys would probably know by now. Like I've always mentioned on here about fans and player support and things like that. Like,
yeah,
he's been bad for Man United. He's not been that terrible for England, you know. Like he's not been, you know, if they're booing him on his performances for Man United, that's a bit unfair, I think.
Do you think that's the way Southgate plays though, Survey? Because of how he's pretty much Ollie Ball 2.0 in his Southgate, if you look at like the way he sets up. Yeah. So Maguire's much more protected in the Southgate system than he is Rangnick.
it doesn't matter. The point there is that he's playing well for England. So I don't know why. I really don't know where it came from. I don't really, I have no personal thing with Maguire, but I just think there's a thin line between insults and there's when, and criticism. Do you understand? Like it's okay to criticize someone, but then when you start insulting them, like players need our support as well. I think it was a bit out of order. I would never support that kind of thing unless he did something that was really egregious. Then yes, I would understand. But then if it was, come on, like.
And on the flip side of things, Dan, you've got Jamie Carragher who's come out saying, well, these fans have paid hard-earned money to come watch this. They're dedicating the weekends, they're watching him game in, game out. They have a right to boo. What side of the fence are you sat on? Like, do you agree with Severe, what he said, or do you have a different opinion on the Maguire situation being booed?
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Siva has mentioned. That like booing, actually, we can never stop that. We cannot because some fans will always be there, will be ready to boo you, and at the same time, fans also should understand that when they are booing a player, then that player is playing for the country, and definitely booing will demotivate him and it will affect his performance. So at the end of the day, it is affecting the fans because they are supporting the nation, and it will affect his performance, and definitely it will affect the score or maybe the result, and he will not be able to perform in that same level after hearing that the fans are not supporting him. But at the same time, on part of Maguire, I would say that he should not be concerned about booing because he cannot. I don't want him to come out in social media and get the support from all the other players. But at the same time, I would want him to show that on the pitch to the fans and show through his performance.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It must feel like he's under a lot of pressure now at the minute, Shreyas, like being booed by England fans. Obviously, we know what's gone on this season. He's been cheered off when he's been subbed and stuff. I can't remember, was it the Atletico Madrid game where they took him off and they brought on Mato for him or something like that, and he had to get the captain's armband up and everyone was just cheering it. So he must be feeling immense pressure at the moment with this, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, because when you're a captain and you are getting subbed off, I think it speaks for itself that how he's been playing for us this season. I would say nothing has been really working for him in a positive way. And I think when you are a captain for a club like Manchester United, I think if you're pulling performances like this week in and week out and also playing regularly, being one of the starters in the team sheet, no matter how he plays, I think it's somewhat of a thing that has to come because when you are a player for Manchester United and the level to which Manchester United has portrayed him as a big player, I think he carries that target on his back. And because of his performances, I think everything has been just going downhill for him, really. And it's come to a point that I don't think even one of the fans in the Manchester United fan base, I would say, would see him being our captain for the next 2 to 3 years. Because if you see our fan base, it is pretty much divided over the captaincy. But one thing that is certain is that no one wants Harry Maguire to be captain or even be around the team as much.
Yeah, 100%. He's been very flaky in his performances and his body language, which it doesn't bode well if you're going to be a captain. I hope the next manager that comes in has a really good look at that, because if they don't take it off him in the summer, I'll be very surprised. I'll be very, very surprised. But yeah, that's yet to be seen yet. Let's rate it back a little bit to Leicester, because obviously we're playing them on Saturday. In terms of the form, the last 5 results, so they beat Brentford 2-1, got beat off Rennes 2-1, got beat off Arsenal 2-0, beat Rennes 2-0, and then beat Leeds 1-0. So again, bit of a mixed bag. They've won 3, lost 2. Not too bad, but for me, I thought they'd go a little bit further in Europa League, to be honest. As I alluded to before, the quality of the squad that they've got, I thought they should have gone a bit further. The game against Arsenal, thought Arsenal were a much better team when they got beat 2-0. It was all over the goal. They had a bad run of form in January and November, which really dragged them down the table. So you really don't know what you're going to get from this Leicester team, to be honest, especially because with this being the first game after the international break, it's one of them games. It's a proper free-for-all at times. You never know, because the form isn't there. They've not had like 2 games previous to it. They've all gone away separate. Now they've come back to training ground and stuff. So it's a bit patchy when the first game back. But yeah, Shreyas, on their manager, what are your thoughts on Rodgers as a coach? And are you glad we didn't go back for him in November?
I think that when you take Rodgers, I think he's a really experienced manager. He knows the intensity of this league, and he knows what he has to do if he has to make a case for top four or sustain in this league. He is one of the most experienced managers, I would say, who has sustained himself in the league. But I just don't think that. I think it was a good call not going for him in November, because I still don't think that it would have been the right fit, because the kind of situation that we were in, I don't think that he is that kind of a person who would have been able to take control of that locker room.
He's not a Conte, is there?
No, and I still think he would have been one of those managers who would have just gone about their business with what they have been given, not voicing that much of what they actually need or what has to be done. I think under Ragnick, we have still seen some big calls. I think all the aggressive decisions that he could make, he is trying all of them. Obviously, the club puts a lot of pressure down on our manager, but I think Ragnick has been one of the best choices that we could have made at that time, because we were in a shambles at that point when Ragnick came in. And if we did take someone like a Rodgers in, I don't think we would have been any far different than we would have been under Oli, because it just comes down with to the fact that the locker room is divided. We need a strong personality in that locker room, who is able to take charge of that locker room, and someone that the players respect, someone that the players know that he is the guy who is going to take the calls, and he is going to be the one who has our future in their hands. And with Ragnick, that is the case, because he's going to be moving upstairs. He has worked with these players for quite some time, and by the time this league ends, he would have been working with these players for about 6 to 7 months, and he would have a clearer picture about who he wants to stay, and who he wants to sell immediately. And we have seen glimpses of that. And I think whoever the manager does come in, I think Ragnick will have a big impact on a window. And like, you never know, we might have more outgoings than we expect if Ragnick is given that power over the transfers. But I think not going for Rodgers is the right call, because at Leicester as well, he has this season, nothing has been working really great for them. So I think it was a good choice going for Ragnick rather than Rodgers.
Yeah, me and Adam were discussing that last night. We were saying now Ragnick's been there for 6 months, he will know the exact issues in that squad. So when he does go upstairs, and then if Ten Hag's sort of saying to him, this player's not doing this player's not doing that, we need this kind of guy, he can look at that and be like, yeah, he's absolutely spot on. So yeah, I agree with what you said there, Shreya. That's a great point. Daniel, just on us, do you still feel like we're fighting for fourth, or is it just a case of scraping till the end now, sort of dragging ourselves to the end of the season? Because that's what it feels like for me.
Yeah, for me, I personally feel that the fight is still on, considering the fixtures that is yet to come, maybe in the end of the April, because Arsenal are more likely to get the top four, considering their the fixtures they have now. But I hate to say this, but considering the fixtures they have, but at the same time, by April last week, I think we'll have a better picture. We'll have a good view on how table is, because I think in a span of 3 to 4 days, Arsenal will be playing Chelsea and us, and at the same time we also will be playing Liverpool and obviously with Arsenal. So that will be the junction of this season, remaining games where we'll be able to see where the season goes. But at the same, on contrary, Tottenham, actually we pulled Tottenham out of this race, but now they are ahead of us, and they also have the better fixtures, because we have to play at least 3 big teams, and Tottenham has to play, I think, only 1 big team from the top 4. So yeah, it's going to be very difficult one. But yeah, it would take a miracle for us to achieve this top 4.
This is what I'm saying. Judging, I'm just going off how we've been playing all season, and considering we've still got Liverpool at Anfield, we've still got Chelsea to play, and Arsenal, who are in flying form at the minute, one of the most informed teams. As much as it kills me to say, alongside Liverpool, who are one of the most informed teams as well. It hurts a lot, and I'd rather see Tottenham get top 4 than Arsenal. I can't have Arsenal fans when they get in the Champions League like all over internet. You know exactly what they're going to be like. Like you lot are playing Thursday nights, all this kind of shit. I can't be dealing with that. Survey, Brendan Rodgers has revealed that Vardy has injured his knee during the 1-0 win over Leeds and could be out for a few weeks. That was on the 5th of March. I think he's actually come out today and confirmed that both Vardy and Ndidi will be out. So what are your thoughts? I suppose the question is, are you worried by the replacements? So say Iheanacho coming in. Do you rate him as a player, or are you not worried about their attacking line if Vardy isn't in it?
I've always rated Iheanacho. He's a very dangerous player. It's a hard one because I really don't know how we're going to set up, like how we're going to nullify the threat of, because with Vardy, like once you nullify everyone else around it, he really can't do much. He basically just runs onto the ball. Relies on his pace a lot. Yeah, he's got a good touch and all that, and his hold-up plays and all isn't the best. So once you can nullify, the threats around him, then there's nothing to worry about. But I would be more worried about Patson Daka because he's very tenacious. He's a younger Vardy. Yeah, he's tenacious. He's always biting at the bits. One of them type of players. I don't know who's going to replace him. Kelechi just played with Nigeria a few days ago.
Okay.
I don't know about the flights, how that's going to happen, like if it's back.
Yeah, it could come down, like I said before, so it could come down to fatigue and stuff like that. Like
exactly. And I don't think Daka played. I don't think because he's Zambian, and I don't think Zambia had any recent games, so it might be him. Also, like I was saying, it just depends on how we're going to set up. I can't think for the life of me who would have. I mean,
I believe he scored against us last time, didn't he? Patson Daka. He scored against us, didn't he? In the 92nd minute, something like that.
Yeah.
Corner.
Yeah. So it all depends on us on how we set up, because we have the quality to beat literally almost every single team in this league. The quality, individually, but I don't know how it's going to be. For once, I'm not feeling very optimistic. I'm usually the optimistic one, but for once, I'm just like, I don't know what to expect. I'm just happy that we're not starting, we're not playing at kickoff. Like everyone else is going to play and then we play in the evening.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy. Yeah. So the nerves will kind of calm down.
It's that international break thing that always comes back to that. You never know what you're going to get. Honestly, we could get beat 3-1 off Leicester on Saturday, or we could go put in a really good performance and smash them free. You just don't know. You really don't know. But look, focusing just on individual players, Adam, we was comparing the stats between both teams last night on Statman, and for anyone who hasn't seen the video, you should check it out. It's an absolute banger, where we compare both Leicester's season and United season. But yeah, they were both very similar. Even the players we were comparing as well, weren't they?
Yeah, some of the stats from the players were actually quite interesting because a lot of them were very similar. We compared Vardy and Ronaldo, for example, and just based on their averages, because Ronaldo played 6 more games than Vardy this season. Goals, shots, etc. were all around the same mark. Ronaldo had more games than goals, but their goals per games were similar. Ronaldo has 0.7 goals per game, and Vardy 0.6. Ronaldo's scoring frequency was every 135
60.
minutes.
What was it, 35?
160, was it?
I thought it was
165, I think, in the
but
league.
I don't know. Yeah,
It's probably just on all. And Vardy was 140.
Very similar.
So there's, very, very similar. And all I got to say is thank God he's actually not starting for me.
Yeah,
because he loves a goal against us.
Yeah, and I think, who was it? We was comparing Ndidi and Fred as well, weren't we? And we was like when we got through the first few stats, we was like, fucking hell, Fred's actually done a lot better than Ndidi. And then it got to like interceptions and tackles per game and stuff like that. And that's where Ndidi was like levels above. Because obviously he's more of a specialist DM in it. But yeah, I just thought them stats were interesting. In terms of main threats, we obviously know Jamie Vardy would have been, if he would have been fit for this game, it would have been a mega threat. Tillemans, I believe, is fit. I think he is. Who bagged a worlder in the previous fixture against us. That top left corner. Oh my God. When Maguire got intercepted by Iheanacho, like that goal he scored was unbelievable. So you got Tielemans, who's obviously a dangerous player, and then Harvey Barnes as well, who no one's mentioned yet, who's in a very good run of form. Very tricky winger. So they're the ones I would keep my eyes on. But as a collective, I just wanted to do a combined 11 between Leicester and Manchester United, if that's okay with you lads. So what we'll do is we'll start off with a keeper. Can we all agree that it's David De Gea? Yeah?
Yeah.
You're all happy with that? Schmeichel's a good keeper, I'll give him that, but he's not a David De Gea. Right back, Ricardo Pereira or Wan-Bissaka or Dalot? Pereira, in it.
Victor Lindelof.
Lindelof at right back.
Are we saying Pereira?
Yeah.
We happy with that?
I'd say Pereira, yeah.
All right, centre backs as a pairing. Any shouts? Did we say Varane and
Soyuncu.
Fofana when he's fit?
Fofana. Yeah, Fofana is fit.
It's got to be Varane and Fofana, isn't it? Johnny Evans
Yeah.
gets a special shout because he's been decent for him as well. He's been a rock for him. Left back, Shaw or Timothy Castagna? Castagna. Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
What's the
What do you
hard
think?
one? Like it depends on what season. Like Castagna's had, like I don't know. It's a hard
This
one.
season, based off this season,
Based off this season.
I'd probably go with Castagna, to be honest. That's my shout. So that's 2 for Castagna. What about you 3?
I'm still gonna stick with this group.
Castagna.
So I think beside a duo of Fofana and Varane, he could work really, really well.
Okay. Adu?
Probably Castagna for me. I just think this season Shaw has been, you could argue, one of our worst performers.
Yes,
I know it sounds harsh, but especially next to the guy, whenever those two play, they tend to have a really, really bad game, which is most of the time. Obviously, Maguire I'm talking about, but Castagna for me.
Okay. I'll actually get Sam to do a graphic up for this, for the combined 11. So we'll go into midfield. I'm going to throw some out there. I'd say Ndidi, Tielemans and Bruno. That'd be my three.
What's the lineup? Is it 4-3-3?
4-3-3.
Yeah, I think that midfield
For
picks
balance.
itself.
Yeah.
It picks itself. Yeah, Ndidi, Tielemans, and what's his name, Bruno.
Are we happy with that
Fred.
midfield? Oh, careful.
No.
Careful.
What? What?
No, you can't have Fred in there. Surely not.
Not Fred.
No, I'm kidding. Ndidi, Tielemans, and Bruno.
Maybe Pogba.
You'd have
Maybe,
Pogba.
but maybe, but I think we'll go Bruno on this one.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
just for balance. And
Yeah. He'd be more advanced. He's more sort of number 10 in there, and then you'd have like Tielemans, Nate, and Ndidi as a specialist. Be a good midfield, that, to be honest. So front three, Jadon Sancho's got to be in it. Has to be in it. Then right wing, would you go with a Harvey Barnes or would you go with someone else?
I'll actually stick with Elanga.
Elanga. This season, yeah. I don't know, because Harvey Barnes is a good player, I proper rate Harvey Barnes.
But he plays on the left, right? Harvey Barnes.
Yeah, Harvey Barnes is
exactly.
more of a
have-
left winger, really.
You could have Sancho on the right then, couldn't you?
exactly. So I would go Sancho on the right, Harvey Barnes on the left. That's hard.
Yeah.
And then Ronaldo up top.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Ronaldo.
Or Vardy. Ooh.
Oh man, that's a hard
Come
one.
on, Cyril.
Wait,
don't know,
I've seen Ronaldo when he's crap this season. Like he's really disappointed me
Really bad.
sometimes. Like, yeah.
And
it's-
Vardy's always a threat for me. Always.
Vardy, when he's fit, like he's fully fit. I'll go Vardy. Sorry.
Ooh. Vardy over Ronaldo. Damn. Adam,
This season, yeah.
I have to push you for an answer.
Oh, I'm just going to go Ronaldo. You got to stay loyal.
Daniel,
Always Ronaldo.
Shreyas.
Have to stick with the guy, Ronaldo.
Oh, you know what? If I'm basing it off this season, I'd say Jamie Vardy. I would say Jamie Vardy this season. But yeah, these guys have stayed loyal to the soil, so fair play to you. let's
Can I
get
say
into the
something
manager.
really quickly?
Yeah, go on.
Something really quickly about, and it's a bit of a segue, but I'll be very brief. It's about like Ronaldo and the loyalty of the fans. Like people keep saying things like he doesn't deserve us. I think it should be the other way around. Ronaldo has only cared about Ronaldo his entire career. Like we literally had to beg him to stay one more season. Then he went to Real Madrid, never really, then he always used us as a tool when he was negotiating a new contract. It was always like, I'm going to go back to United. And then they'll give him a new contract. Then I watched his movie, barely mentions Man United.
Yeah.
Mentions Sir Alex Ferguson just a little bit. And then he actually considered joining City. It wasn't until everyone was like, come here, come back home. And then he came back. I've never really been since he left, when he was here the first time, I was, but since he left, I've just been like, man, this guy doesn't really, he cares about him. So I have no real loyalty towards the guy.
He is very egotistical. Even I notice it in celebrations. If he hasn't scored all game and we get a last minute winner, he won't celebrate in no way near as much as like when he scored against Villarreal in the last minute or Atlanta or something like that. He is very much for his own accolades. And I think I've said that people won't criticize Ronaldo because of the nostalgia behind it. Like they refuse to do it. But I as you lot know, when I've done shows, I've always criticized him when he's dropping stinkers, when he's missing easy chances, which for Ronaldo standards should never be doing that. We did the stats last night. I did. We had like 15 big chances missed, and that's just in the league.
It must be the most in the league.
It's one of the most. So yeah, that tells you everything you need to know. Right, guys, let's get into the predicted 11s then. Now, I feel like we haven't done a predicted 11 in so long, but yeah, it's finally match day tomorrow, so buzzing for that. And I'll go with mine first. Once I've done mine, I'll go round to you lot and get all your predicted 11. So I'm going to go with a 4-3-3. De Gea, Dalot, Varane, Maguire, I think will be back in. I think Shaw will be back in as well. I think Bruno, Scott and Pogba start. And I think Rashford will come back in as well, Ronaldo and Sancho. Obviously, this isn't what I want, as we always specify, but this is what I think Ralph will go with. And it could be way off. It's hard to predict, as I said before, after an international break. A lot of the time, it's who's the fittest, basically. But yeah, what are your predicted 11, guys? Adam, I'll go to you first, mate.
David De Gea and Diego Dalot right back. I'm iffy on whether it's going to be Maguire Varane or Maguire Lindelof. I think it'll be maybe Maguire Varane, just because we haven't been smacked with them two whenever Varane's on the pitch. I think Luke Shaw left back. Then in midfield, Bruno, Pogba, Fred.
Oh, so you don't think Scott's going to start?
Well, is Fred fit? Is he? I haven't actually read anything about it.
I know, yeah.
He is,
Yeah, I think Fred's good to go.
Yeah, I think we'll have to try and win the midfield battle because they have a really, really good midfield. So I think he'll throw him in. He seems to like him a lot. He likes the pressing he does. And he has actually, I think Pogba won't start. I think it might be Scott, McFred, and Bruno. Then up front, Sancho. I'm going to go with Langa and Ronaldo.
Yeah, I think because Indeed is out, will they be playing Amati there? Is that who playing in DM when Indeed is out? Who else plays in there for him? Is it Chowdhury as well? Who play there?
Yeah,
Amati or Chowdhury.
But
I think they've got a couple of options. Yeah, they've got a couple of options there.
Interesting.
I haven't seen him this season though.
Who, Chowdhury?
Yeah. Has he been in?
Whenever I've seen him, the odd game I've seen him play, yeah. I don't know whether he's, I don't know how many in general, but yeah. Shreyas, do you want to give us your predicted 11 for tomorrow's game?
I think De Gea is going to be starting in net without a question. I think Dalot is going to be back at the right back position. Except that, I think he is going to stick with Maguire and Varane. Luke Shaw is going to take his spot back. Except that, I think I agree with Adam there, with McFred starting and Bruno playing alongside them. Except that, I think Sancho, Ronaldo, and I think Rashford is going to come back only because during this international break period, a lot has come out from his side with his fitness and not getting a preseason and all that stuff. So I think what was mentioned was that he's taken this time to actually get his fitness levels back up and get that time lost during his pre-season, really, because of his surgery. So I mean, the kind of articles that have come out from his side, I think Rashford is going to start ahead of Elanga. I do want Elanga to start, but I think Rashford is going to take the spot at the right wing.
Yeah, it's important to get a reaction from Rashford in it, the way he's been playing at the minute. We need something from him this season because he's been poor. Every game, I feel like I'm saying this, like he'll come back, he'll get better, and it's just, yeah, I feel it's getting defeatist now. Dan, do you want to give us your predicted 11, mate?
Yeah, I think pretty much same, exactly the same as what Shreyas mentioned. But I just want to predict something else in the midfield. I think I'll predict a crazy one. I think Matic will start with Pogba and Bruno.
Okay. I won't mind seeing that at all. Won't mind. And then bring in someone on for the last 20 minutes or whatever for Matic, because we know what his legs are like. And Severe, what do you think for tomorrow? Predicted 11. Your first predicted 11, I think, as well. It was the first preview.
Oh, wow,
isn't it?
Yeah. So, pretty much what Adam said, really. I think he has a lot of trust in Elanga, and I think he really trusts. He believes in. I think it would be Elanga, Sancho, Ronaldo up front, and everything else that Adam said. So it would be. But I think actually, I think we might see Alex Telles instead of Luke Shaw. Yeah. That's what I think. And with Pasandaka starting, I would say he would go with Varane to match his pace. Otherwise, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays Lindelof over Varane.
Okay. I was just thinking then, when you mentioned the front line, Ronaldo, Sancho, Elanga, can you imagine 2 years ago if someone said to us that would be the front three going forward? We would have never believed it. Would have never believed it at all.
Absolutely not.
And I feel like like having a figurehead in between Elanga and Sancho would be perfect. It's obviously not worked to the length we thought, but having Elanga on the right side, who I think can be such a good player, and Jadon Sancho's a phenomenal talent, and then Ronaldo, everything he's won in the game, experienced player. I thought that would blend really nice, but for some reason, I don't think the attacking line has necessarily worked wonders this year. For whatever reason,
no, it's not threatening. In my opinion.
It's not, is it? It's not. I don't think at all. Because what we were saying when under Ole, we were saying, defensively we're leaking goals, but we can always score in the game. We'd always be a threat with obviously Martial, Greenwood, Rashford, and Bruno, and we always look to threat. But yeah, God knows, it's something needs addressing there when the new manager comes in, for patterns of play and things like that. But yeah, is anyone during the international break who's played? Is anyone who's impressed? Obviously, a United player. Do you think deserves a start, or even if they're a Leicester player or whatever, and you've seen him during the break and thought they deserve a start?
The goal that Shaw scored was a good one.
Yeah. Why is that really laughing?
He said Maguire.
Oh, come on.
I mean, he got an orchestra of boos, so at least he got something.
Jesus. But yeah,
Luke Shaw's goal was good. He scored a really good goal. That was a bit of confidence there.
Yeah, you'd hope that boost it into his club's performances, because again, he's another player who's English players in general for United have been crap. I think Wan-Bissaka's been crap, Maguire's been crap, Luke Shaw's been crap, and Rashford's been pretty crap. So
other than Sancho.
It doesn't bode well. Yeah, other than Sancho, it doesn't bode well for the Euros, for United players going to the Euros anyway. I think there may be a few, not Euros, sorry, World Cup, maybe a few players there that are you ain't getting in, mate. Even Sancho not getting picked for England, what the fuck? What's that about?
Yeah.
Don't understand that at all. Ridiculous. But yeah, can't wait to see him flying again tomorrow night. He's been in the form of his life at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into score predictions, guys. I'll just go Adam, Shreyas, Dan, and then Severe, and get them very quickly. Adam, score prediction, and who will be the goal scorers or goal scorer if you're going with a single?
I think 2-1 United. We don't keep clean sheets. We don't, if you look at our past kind of few results. I think the last one was Watford that we kept. Should have hammered them. I think Bruno will get a goal anyway. I reckon a penalty. We always seem to get penalties against Leicester. We haven't got many this season though. probably Ronaldo too. Would I go or no Sancho, Bruno, and for them, a Tielemans screamer again.
Again.
Yeah.
Okay. Shreyas?
I think I'm gonna go with the 3-1, with Bruno scoring, and Ronaldo and Sancho. And for them, I think we'll be conceding of a set piece again, because that's one of the areas that we have been leaking goals. We haven't, but I think that's one of the areas where we actually looked a lot. There are a lot of warning signs there. So I think 3-1 win for United, because Leicester is a team which hasn't really been flying, and they're pretty unpredictable. But still, I don't think the momentum has really been in their favor. And with the players that we have coming in, especially Ronaldo and Bruno after the World Cup qualification, I think they're going to be at a skyrocket momentum. So I expect a big game from both of them.
That's a good point. Very good point. Well made. Dan, Mystic Dan, sorry. Put a bit of respect on your name. You obviously got quite a lot of score predictions right of late. So yeah, tell everyone what score we're winning.
Please be positive.
I would have gone for 2-1 as Adam mentioned, but then NDD is not playing, also Vardy is not playing, so we'll be facing a less amount of attack coming our way as compared to when Vardy is playing. So I would go with 2-0 with Ronaldo and Bruno. Sorry.
And finally, the cool, calm, collected surveyor. What are you saying score prediction wise?
I might go 3-0. The only reason I'm going 3-0 is because
3-0.
Yeah, based on the game they played against Arsenal. If I just thought about it now, because I watched the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
And Leicester were crap.
Yeah, they were bad in that game.
Oh,
Yeah.
like they were clueless. Like they were crap. If they score, I'll say Harvey Barnes will probably get a goal because he has a bit of quality. So he will be if they score us, I think he will be the one to score. I can see Bruno scoring. I can see either Sancho or Langa. I don't know who's going to get our goals, but definitely Bruno get one and probably one of the wingers. But I think we'll win this one, honestly.
Yeah, I think we're going to win. I think it's going to be, I'm going to go with a mad 3-2. I think it's going to be one of them games. Like I keep mentioning the international break and everybody coming back. There's going to be slight fatigue. It's going to be a little bit end-to-end, I think. So I'm going to go with a raggedy 3-2 win.
Against Arsenal, they literally just opened the door like, you can come in.
Yeah, go on, mate. Odegaard, yeah. Yeah, it's actually really annoying how good their young players are looking together. Smith Rowe, Odegaard, and Saka, and that front, even Martinelli as well coming in. They look really good, and and they play nice football as well. I hate to admit it, but they do. Yeah. So anyway, let's end it on a bit of a positive. The match is tomorrow live from 5:30, but obviously we'll be live an hour beforehand with the team lineup reaction. We'll have halftime analysis and post-match analysis, so make sure you join us for that one. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and check our videos out. Also follow us on any socials you want. Just type in Real Reds Talk on Twitter, TikTok, Insta, whatever social media platform you use, basically. We're pretty much on it. So yeah, be sure to check that out. And yeah, thank you for joining me, lads. It's been an absolute pleasure, bar the technical nightmares, as we know. But yeah, regardless, it's been really good. And thank you for spending your time with myself. I appreciate it. I'll see you a lot for the match tomorrow.